Welcome back to the Tool Crib. I wanted to give you guys a little bit of an update on the Leatherman Bond. So if you go to the Leatherman website and you search for the Leatherman Bond, you'll no doubt see that it is listed as currently unavailable. Now, while Leatherman hasn't given any kind of a press release, my assumption is that they are working on fixing the knife issue with the all-new Leatherman Bond. And if you're unfamiliar with what is going on with that, something that's been documented by quite a few reviewers now. But the Leatherman Bond has a tendency where, because of the design of the blade can actually stick up outside of the handle, exposing the tip of the blade, and can cause the potential to injure the end user. So hopefully they'll get this corrected, and then they'll re-release the Leatherman Bond. Because apart from that, it's actually a pretty good multi-tool. Now, for those that carry something like a rebar, this is kind of a downgrade for them. So why would this be considered a good multi-tool? Well, it's not targeted towards markets where they don't have these stringent knife laws. This is targeted more for the UK and other parts of Europe, wherein they have some very stringent knife laws that don't allow for locking blades. They also don't allow for blades over a certain length. And the Leatherman Bond kind of fills that void for people that have to live underneath these knife laws. So hopefully Leatherman, there's a couple of different ways they can fix this. Hopefully they'll come up with a viable solution very quickly and re-release the Leatherman Bond. Now I wanted to talk a little bit more about this tool and trying to understand why Leatherman decided to go the tooling route that they went. So if you look at the Leatherman Bond, it actually has a very similar tool set to a very old tool, the original multi-tool, the Leatherman PST. A couple of key advantages that the Bond's going to have over this old version multi-tool. It's going to have better ergonomics. It's going to have a pocket clip. It's going to have a more robust set of pliers on it, as well as more robust tooling on the inside. Now, the Leatherman PST does have one small flat driver that the Leatherman Bond does not have. So, it really takes its DNA from this tool. But if you look at it, it's actually very closely related to the Leatherman rebar. So if we set these to the side here and we take a look at the handle construction, you can see that these are made in a very similar fashion. The difference in this is that the Leatherman Bond actually is a little tighter against this side, where the Leatherman rebar fans out to give you that extra layer. Now, what you get in that extra layer for the Leatherman rebar is you're going to get a file on one side and a saw blade on the other side. Apart from that, the rest of the tooling within these two tools is exactly the same. So I wonder why Leatherman decided to go the route of the PST tooling, more closely related to the PST, as opposed to this newer version multi-tool. Basically take the rebar and add the slip locks in favor of the lock mechanisms, but leave it in the same size where you could get these two tools in there as well, which can be very useful. And I find both of those tools to be very useful in my EDC, which is the Leatherman Surge. I don't understand, apart from maybe it was all about keeping this tool as budget friendly as possible. I'm curious as to whether or not Leatherman in the future might decide to, if this ends up selling well in Europe, if they might include another version of this tool that would have the same slip lock mechanisms, come with the same pocket clip, pliers, all that, but add this additional layer where you could get a little bit more capability yet out of this multi-tool. Now, obviously, that would probably raise the price up to somewhere around the $70 mark. It's hard to say with Leatherman and their pricing, but I'm just curious as to why they decided to go this route instead of this route, because I know that a lot of people, I don't think they would have had a problem going another $20 higher in order to get a little bit more capability with a little additional tooling in the Leatherman Bond. Now, they do have another multi-tool that's coming out soon, and with the issues that they're having with the Leatherman Bond, it's hard to say when that tool will be released, but there's been leaks of this tool now, and it is the Leatherman Curl. Now, wherein the Leatherman Bond took its styling cues more from the PST and the rebar, the Curl is basically going to be a kind of like the original Wave, where this one, because of its slip lock mechanism, the PST and the Bond are really closely related. So will be the original Leatherman Wave and the new Leatherman Curl. They're going to have the knife blade, and it appears that they're going to have the file on the other side. And so they're going to get rid of the second layer over here. So basically, it's going to be very similar to what they did with the Bond versus the rebar as the upcoming Curl against the Wave. Again, it comes back to the same issue. I'm not sure why they decided to drop off a tool other than keeping the price down, because I think a lot of people in those countries where these are marketed for wouldn't mind having a more capable tool that would include a file and a saw as well. Or the serrated blade. That basically is what you would get extra, because this one already has. I misspoke a little bit earlier. I apologize. This one actually does have the file. It loses the serrated blade and the saw, which the saw is definitely important to a lot of people. So I believe that the new upcoming Curl, from the photos that we've seen, are going to have the regular blade and it's going to have the file. And they're going to drop off the saw and the serrated blade the same as this tool. I think that they should have maybe included that. It's hard to say what Leatherman is thinking. Now, they're kind of working on this theme where they're taking old designs and they are updating them, if you will. While a lot of people are not going to consider this the Bond an update over the rebar. My point is that they're using a current version tool or a little older tool, because the rebar's been out for a number of years now, and taking design cues from it and the PST in order to make the Leatherman Bond. Now, there are a couple tools in the Leatherman lineup that I actually would love to see them update. Older models that I think could be viable options in today's world, and a lot of people might get a lot of use out of. The first of which is the Leatherman Cyclip. This is a tool that I actually like quite a bit. It's thin in profile, it's easy to carry, doesn't come with the most robust set of tools, but apart from a good driver, a good knife blade, a pocket clip, and a couple of extra additional useful tools, what more do you need in a light carry tool? This is one that I would definitely love to see updated. I like the side clip a lot. It's one of my favorite of the older models because of its slim carry, ease of carry, lightweight, all of that. Now, it's not going to be the most comfortable of the multi-tools because it doesn't have those rolled edges. But with the type of plier that's in it and how thin profile they are, this is not a tool like the Leatherman Surge where you're going to be grabbing hold of this to back up half-inch nuts either. So this is not something that I would think personally that you would be putting a whole lot of pressure on to make this, to make that handle, which is not the most comfortable in the world, a huge issue. Another tool that I would definitely like to see Leatherman come back out with or give us a 21st century update for are the Juice series. In particular, two of them that for me are the most, are probably the best of the two Juice series. The first one was in the originals, which is the KF4. I like the KF4 a lot. One thing that it's not going to have over some of the other Juice models, namely the S2, is the fact that it doesn't have scissors. Now, the S2 was more popular among the Juice series of tools because it did include a pair of scissors. So the S2 for its outer tools had a knife blade, it has a can opener, and it has a pair of scissors. And that's one of the options that made it very, very popular. Where in the KF4, the outer tools are the knife blade, you get a file, but this one also includes the diamond file. And this is one of the reasons why I like this tool so much, because I get a lot of use out of diamond files on Leatherman multi-tools. Then on the other side, it had the serrated blade. And on the last layer, it actually has two tools. It has the awl, which is bent over, kind of like what Victorinox does in their Alox version of knives, in their 93 millimeter Alox version, though this is not quite as robust, obviously, as those. And then the last tool that a lot of people get a lot of use out of is the saw blade. So these are two tools, actually three tools for the Leatherman lineup. If they're going to continue to go down this route, that I would love to see them come out with 21st century updates the Juice KF4, the Juice S2, the Leatherman side clip. Now the Juice series may be gone forever, and any similar versions of it may be gone forever. It's hard to tell with Leatherman. They really don't give us any direction as to, or give us any insight into what direction they are planning on going for future. The only reason we know about the Bond and the Curl is they just happen to get leaked on an official Leatherman website. But the Leatherman side clip is one that I think could definitely use a 21st century update for. And this is actually a tool that I would carry on lighter days. It's just, I like the ease of carry for this one. I love the fact it has an integrated pocket clip. That's a huge selling point for me. And I think this one could make a viable comeback if Leatherman so chose to do so. Well, these are just some of my thoughts and an update on the Leatherman Bond. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you in the next one.